What's the middle class for Donald Trump? How do you define middle class?
Well, I would say middle class is probably anywhere from 35, 40,000 annual income for a single person to 150, 200,000. But of course, it varies greatly from where you live.
Yes.
Because cost of living in New York is far different than Appleton, Wisconsin. So, if you make 50,000 in Appleton, you're throwing up confetti. If you're making 50,000 in New York City, you're probably on food stamps. So it really depends. But I think the beauty of this tax proposal is it does what it probably should do, lowering rates and taking away deductions, making a less distortive tax code, which is good for economic activity and good for economic decision-making.
How can the president and how can a fractious Republican Party down in flames with health care, how can they build trust with the American people on a long, drawn-out process?
Well, this is a very good question because they do have to push this one through. The health care inability to pass a good health care plan is, frankly, in his words, an embarrassment. They were planning this for allegedly 7 years, and they were unable to come up with a solution that improves health outcomes at lower costs with, dealing with such things as pre-existing conditions. Now, granted, that is a very, very sticky group of three issues you have to deal with. Hopefully, with this tax plan, they can push it through given the very broad benefits. And it should be somewhat less controversial than the health care plan. So they should be able to use the muscle of their majority to get this plan through. If not, it's going to be very problematic.
But is it problematic because actually people will have the muscle memory of health care, and so they'll make the president almost pay for health care when a lot of people would be behind this otherwise?
Yeah, it seems with the whole health care debate, it's hard to distinguish what single factor threw it off the rails. There was all this fear about pre-existing conditions, and then what's going to happen to Medicaid, and there were all these it was hard to put your finger on it, and it seemed like every faction wanted something else. And in this case, it seems like most of the factions are somewhat more unified. We will see, of course, but I think they know the light is on them. They need to do something.